Hello, I'm Darren Magee and welcome to my Mental Health Information and Awareness channel. Now today's topic is, again, looking at children raised in a narcissistic family. Today we're going to focus on the scapegoat of the family. Now, if you like this video, if you find it helpful, please check out my other videos on mental health related topics and please consider subscribing to my channel. Now, within a narcissistic family, which I often describe more being like a cult, toxicity is a typical dynamic, particularly among the siblings. The parent or the parents treat the children very differently. This is to create division and competition. Now, in a previous video, I described the upbringing of the golden child. This is the favourite child. This is the one the parent would live most vicariously through, feeding off their success, the admiration and the envy from others. The scapegoat, on the other hand, now that's the source of the family's misery. And the difference between them and the golden child. Now, the parent may take part, attend events in everything the golden child has anything to do with. Not show any interest at all in anything the scapegoat's doing. Now, the golden child may get a part in the school play. Parents over the moon, delighted, very proud. The scapegoat gets the lead role and it's generally scorned or ridiculed. Now, scapegoats are chosen for different reasons. Some are what the parent may consider the child is weaker, more frail than the golden child. They may be the angry, rebellious child who doesn't toe the line, who gets into conflicts with their siblings. In reality, they just do not accept the subservient, less unfair than role that they're put into. They may be more compassionate, empathic, which, if you think about it, makes them an ideal target for a narcissistic abuser. Sometimes they're chosen because they may look more like that narcissistic parent's partner than they do themselves. So the scapegoat is seen as the problem child, the troublemaker, when in reality, I think they actually see the truth of the cult for what it is. Even if they can't make sense of it, they know it's unfair. They don't believe the lies, and they will often act the truth out. They will act the truth out that the family's trying to hide from everyone else, even themselves, even each other. And this behaviour actually gains them negative attention, but unintentionally, it distracts from the real issues that are going on. Now, in school, they may misbehave, they may be naughty, they may get into trouble. This, I think, again, it's a way of getting attention. They're getting attention, negative attention, because all they've learned is to behave negatively to get negative attention. That's what they learn at home, that's what they're taught. Though they may have good social skills, even outside of the making trouble and so on. They're probably very good at making friends. They can become popular with others, even if sometimes those friendships, those relationships are not in their best interest. They're not a good influence on them, and sometimes those relationships may be shallow and inauthentic. Because back at home, the scapegoat is the target for, more often than not just the parent, but sometimes the whole family's negative projections. Again, labelled as the rebel, the black sheep of the family. This makes them the target of emotional, sometimes even physical abuse by the parent or their other siblings, because they're blamed on pretty much everything. The parent's frustration. The parent is frustrated. They don't have the job they like. They're not being admired enough by others. They burnt the toast that morning. That is the scapegoat's fault. So the scapegoat is, in some ways, well, in a lot of ways, they're quite damaged because they're systematically blamed, shamed, scorned, belittled, and made to carry the responsibility for everyone else's misery. Now, what the scapegoat does have is they have a sense of themselves. Now, even if that is an unhealthy sense of themselves at times, there is emotional depth. They have the ability to look outside of themselves. And as they grow, they see the family for what it really is. At some point, they stop believing the lies. Now, the golden child doesn't have any sense of themselves. They don't have any insight. All they have is image, nothing else. They believe that without that image, without the best toys, without being admired, they believe they are nothing. The scapegoat believes differently, even if they can't make sense of that belief. The scapegoat learns to use their imagination constructively. They learn they can plan ahead, and as young adults, they learn to do what is in their best interest, or rather, what they want to do, even if it's not the best choice, even if it's not really in their best interest. Not necessarily, though, what makes the family look good. And again, this will have them labelled as rebellious teenagers. But again, they are so used to being the source of the parents' misery. They will at least become the least controllable. They may decide to stop going to church. For example, they recognize the hypocrisy. The family is there all day, every day, twice on Sundays, but living like the devil when no one's looking. They will listen to their type of music, dress how they want to. Again, all the golden child will ever do is comply. Now, the traits the scapegoat develops as they grow include sometimes they can be emotionally reactive. They may react out of proportion to the situation, but they can also be sensitive. They are sensitive towards others, not just towards themselves. They have empathy, but they can also be strong-willed, and they don't have a problem questioning authority. Doesn't necessarily have to be in an obstinate, rebellious kind of way, but more in the sense that they recognize unfairness. They need clarity. They can even be protective over others that they care about. And anecdotally, two scapegoats that I've known, one when I was a teenager, the other as an adult, still know them to this day. Both scapegoats have incredible senses of humour. They love to see the absurd, ridiculous side of things, even themselves. Now, sometimes that humour can be self-deprecating, but it is something that the narcissistic family does not have because they don't have any insight. There's far too much shame there. So there are my thoughts on the scapegoat of the narcissistic family. Now, what happens to grow up? Well, maybe that's a video for another time. If you have any comments or queries, please use the comment box below, and please feel free to suggest any topics you'd like me to cover in the future. Again, if you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel for future updates on mental health related topics. And until next time, thanks for watching.